The late afternoon sun cast a golden glow over the sprawling suburban shopping center parking lot. The scent of fresh-cut grass mingled with the faint aroma of roasted coffee drifting from a nearby cafe. It was a warm day, the kind that makes you appreciate simple moments, like a quick stop at the pharmacy or buying groceries for your family. For Marcus Hill, a black Navy SEAL who had just returned home from his latest deployment overseas, this was supposed to be a peaceful errand. A small break from the chaos of service, a moment to catch his breath and take care of his mother's medication before she got worse. Marcus pulled into the parking lot with tired eyes but a steady heart. He'd seen things that would haunt many men twice his age, yet he carried the weight with quiet dignity. He scanned the rows of cars for a spot close to the pharmacy entrance, somewhere he could make the trip easy for his mother, whose arthritis had been getting worse. His gaze landed on a single open spot, right near the door. Relief flooded him. But just as he reached to park, the window of a nearby car slid down sharply. The man inside, middle-aged, wearing a cheap polo shirt and a scowl as sharp as broken glass, shouted, "Hey, that spot's taken." Marcus blinked. Taken? There was no one in the spot. His hand tightened on the steering wheel. Before he could respond, the woman sitting beside the man leaned over, sneering with contempt. "You don't belong here," she said, her voice dripping with disdain. "Find somewhere else, boy." For a moment, Marcus was stunned. The words hung heavy in the air like a thick fog, filled with hostility, ignorance, and something deeply personal. He felt the blood rush to his face, a storm of emotions, anger, disbelief, hurt. But his voice came out steady, calm, shaped by years of discipline and the unyielding values of honor. "I'm just trying to park so I can get medicine for my mother," he said. The man slammed his hand on the steering wheel. "We don't want your kind here," he snapped. The woman laughed cruelly. "Go back to where you came from." Marcus looked away, swallowing the lump rising in his throat. The world had fought wars and made progress, but here, in this simple parking lot, the bitter stain of racism still lingered. He felt the weight of it press down on his chest, but instead of fighting fire with fire, he took a deep breath, held his head high and said quietly, "I serve this country as a Navy SEAL. I fight for the safety and freedom of every person here." The couple just sneered and drove away, leaving Marcus alone with the sting of their words. Can you imagine how it felt? To serve your nation, to risk everything for strangers' safety, and then be treated like an enemy on your own soil? But Marcus refused to let their hate define him. He shifted the car, searching for another spot, when suddenly a voice called out, "Hey, wait!" Marcus turned to see a young woman walking briskly toward him. She was in her early 20s, dressed in scrubs, a nurse on her break. Her eyes were bright with determination and kindness. "I'm sorry you had to deal with that," she said, her voice warm. "If you want, I can save this spot for you. I'm just running inside quickly." Marcus nodded, gratitude swelling inside him. "Thank you," he said simply. The woman smiled, getting back in her car and pulling out just as the racist couple returned, their car creeping menacingly toward the spot again. This time their engine revved louder, a thin attempt to intimidate both Marcus and the nurse. But before they could escalate things, a tall Hispanic man emerged from a nearby store. His face was weathered but kind, and he walked directly up to the couple, arms crossed. "That spot's saved," he said firmly, looking them in the eye. "You can't bully a man who's served his country." The couple hesitated, suddenly aware of the growing crowd of shoppers watching. Muttering under their breath, they finally backed off and drove away, defeated. Marcus exhaled, feeling a wave of relief wash over him. The kindness of strangers had turned the tide in an instant, but the story wasn't over. As Marcus stepped out of his car, he spotted an elderly woman struggling nearby with a walker. Her hands trembled, her breath was shallow, and it was clear she needed help. Without hesitation, Marcus moved to her side. "Let me help you, ma'am," he said gently. The woman looked up, surprised but grateful. "Thank you, young man," she whispered. Together they made their way slowly across the parking lot, Marcus steadying her at every step. Just then, Marcus caught sight of the racist couple again. But this time, their car was stopped dead. In the middle of the lot, smoke billowing from the engine. They looked panicked and helpless. Marcus's heart softened. Despite their cruelty, here they were, vulnerable and in need. He walked over and said, "Need some help?" The man hesitated, his pride battling with desperation. But the woman nodded quietly. Marcus popped the hood and quickly diagnosed the issue, a blown fuse that he replaced with a spare from his glove compartment. While he worked, the nurse and the Hispanic man returned, carrying water and offering support. The couple's faces softened. The woman's eyes glistened with tears. "I'm sorry," the man said quietly. "We were wrong." Marcus looked up and smiled gently. It's never too late to change. That day, something remarkable happened. The hate and anger that had filled the parking lot moments ago was replaced by humility, gratitude, and even a fragile spark of understanding. Marcus's service didn't just protect his country overseas. It inspired kindness at home, reminding everyone that empathy can break down even the deepest walls. So what about you? When was the last time a simple act of kindness changed the course of your day? Maybe it was holding a door, offering a smile, or standing up for someone who needed it. These moments might seem small, but they ripple outward, making the world a little better. If Marcus's story touched your heart, please like this video and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe for more stories that celebrate hope, courage, and kindness. And don't forget to check out our next video, because the journey of kindness never ends.